these things are accomplished, I think he says. So it's a similar sort of reference to all these things being accomplished. And in the Gospel of Thomas, which was found at Nag Hammadi in the name of Judas Thomas, Judas the twin, in the appointment logo, or logion as it's called, the Gospel of Thomas is not a story, it's a series of sayings. There's an appointment logion of James. In the place where you are to go to James the just, for whose sake heaven and earth came into existence. So all those, I think, make a circle of usages that you should look at. Again, I'm not able to give you a final judgment on the authenticity or non-authenticity of things of this kind. You have to decide that. Okay, Matthew 24 continues where the others kind of leave off in Matthew 25. They continue into, I think everything ends in this little apocalypse sort of around Luke 34. And Matthew kind of ends around 24:44. Mark ends around 13:37. Notice, by the way, still in Matthew, which is more detailed, he explains this image more. As it were in the days of Noah, so shall it be with the coming of the Son of Man. So it is actually pictured as a second flood, or a second flood-like apocalyptic episode. But my only problem there with these things, aside from seeing Jerusalem circled by armies and so on and so forth, and the abomination standing where it ought not to stand, used in previous materials in the Maccabean books and so on, is the problem of the Son of Man, which is just replete throughout the Gospels and so on. The Son of Man is really man. In other words, not Son of God. In any event, Son of Adam, not a supernatural heavenly being, which we all are supposed to be. Sons of man, daughters of Adam. Now there may have been a special meaning for this, which may have related it to the primal Adam. Now, I've spoken to you about the primal Adam, but the primal Adam is known as an ornament of what they call Jewish Christianity, the Clementines, recognitions, homilies, and it's a doctrine of a sort of pre-existent being that is called the primal Adam, the first Adam. Paul knows about it in 1 Corinthians. I'll read it to you in a second. And I told you about it. It's a supernatural being like the Islamic Imam that comes in and out of people and puts on different bodies and shapes. Perfect being. Also called the standing one, because I suppose it has something to do with being resurrected or something to that effect. Anyway, it keeps on moving through history and time, and it's a sort of incarnationist doctrine. Sort of like the Word made flesh in the Gospel of John. So if, in fact, the Son of Man is a kind of variation on the primal Adam, then I can understand it a little bit more, if that's what it's supposed to mean by some people who were trying to put this into a different Greek form. But I'll just read you Paul, then I'll quit on this subject. To show you that, not that Paul knows the Son of Man, I don't know if he ever speaks of the Son of Man, I may be wrong. But look at Paul, 1 Corinthians 15:42, or 15:40s anyway. He's talking about the sun and the glory of the moon and the stars. the natural body, 44, the spiritual body, his usual juxtaposition of spirit and body. Notice, by the way, even earlier, when he talks earlier in 15 about the different appearances, I suppose first to James, then all the apostles, and then the other one, first to Cephas, then to the 12, and we've discussed that previously. That's in line 5 of chapter 15. He admits to persecuting the early church in line 9. I always go back a bit to see the context of these things. He says in 14, if Christ was not raised, then our preaching is worthless, your faith is worthless. He preaches the risen Christ. And then in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Habakkuk commentary, the spouter of lying is said to preach a doctrine full of lies, and his saving, his amal it's called, his saving works are worthless. And the actual word used is worthless, that he teaches worthlessness. So that's another possible connection. You can't prove any of these things, but they mount up in the sheer number. Then he says in 21 here, for all die in Adam shall be made alive in Christ. Again, he starts the Adam situation. And then he goes on after a long excursus there to line 45. And it's written, the first man, Adam, became a living soul. So the first man, Adam, the primal Adam, the first man, the primal Adam, Adam. So you see, he knows about the primal Adam, I think. Now, I may be wrong, but I do think he knows that doctrine is already circulating. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit. That's our Adam, our Jesus, that he calls the last Adam. So he knows Jesus as Adam, if you follow me. So I'm just trying to show how the Son of Man may have started becoming the instead of like a man. So the first man, and there he actually says it, the primal Adam, the first man, line 47, you see all these things? Is earthly, physical. The second man, let me see if my Greek here, that's why I always